Hi there, this is Kerry from DuffleCat. I thought I would do a series of little videos for you just to show you some of our designs. We do online sales all year round at our fantastic website dufflecat.co.uk. We also have a folksy site, we have an Etsy site, we sell some of our items on eBay, or you can get in touch on our social media and have a chat with us. Currently we only usually post to the UK, but if you were looking to buy from Europe or the States or elsewhere, get in contact and we can look at postage options for you. So our most popular product is our greeting cards. These come in portrait and landscape. Some of the designs are only in portrait or landscape. I must apologise in advance because they currently all have plastic covers on them. Now, I am not a fan of plastic single-use stuff, and where possible I will always reuse them. So this is the challenge at the moment. We are looking at potato starch wrapping options. Otherwise we would just have the cards as they are, but as you can see, as they're on a white background, we prefer that they stay white for our customers, and we don't get dirty finger marks on them. So that's part of the reason they're usually in plastic. With our card wrapping though, if you are ordering them or you're buying them from craft fairs from us, you're more than welcome to leave the plastic cover with us, and then we will reuse it for other cards. They are usually £2 or 3 for £5. There's a deal on our website at the moment for 3 for 2, which is worth checking out. So first of all, I'm going to show you our happy birthday range. These ones have been super popular. We currently only have 10 designs in these. We do have a couple of other birthday ones which aren't of the same style. So I'm just going to show you these. So this card is portrait. This is our bunny. All of our cards are blank inside for your own message. And they are, I think they're about 15 centimetres by 10 centimetres. Obviously come with a blank envelope as well. And then on the back, it usually just has our logo and our website address. So they're very easy for you to customise for your friends or family, or if you want to keep them for yourself. So obviously please ignore the plastic kind of film sheen, but all of our cards are currently in these to protect them, so they're lovely for you before you send them off. So we have a bunny, we have our ginger cat, we have a pig, we have a fox. So we're looking to get the fox done as a standalone picture because we don't yet have one and we get asked for foxes a lot. We have a hedgehog, we have another cat, we have an owl. So this owl is also available without the happy birthday sign in its beak, in portrait. All of these ones are portrait. We did try trialing these in landscape, which I can show you in a minute, but they didn't quite work. So we thought we'd stick to portrait for all of these. We have a little, I want to say Yorkshire Terrier dog, a little rat or mouse, however you might like to see that. And then we have a deer. So as you can see from these ones here, we did try them in landscape, but they don't quite work. So we obviously won't be continuing with the landscape ones. I think we have about 10 like this left. So we'll obviously stick to portrait for the happy birthday range. So next up we have our red panda range. This guy was one of our very first designs, and as you'll notice, he doesn't quite fit in with the newer style, but he's very lovely, and he's got a jolly belly there because obviously he's eaten too much bamboo. So he comes portrait or landscape. I think the portrait works better, but there you go. He is only currently available as a greeting card, an art print or a postcard because there's a lot of detail on him, so I think putting him on a badge or something would take away some of that. So next up we have our range of 4 red pandas. Again, these are available as art prints, greeting cards, postcards, coasters, and we have one of them on a badge with a view to have the others on a badge at a later date. So there are 2 in portrait and 2 in landscape. They also come on a print altogether. So this is the one we currently have as a badge, but they're all available as coasters and art prints, obviously, of course. So they're very sweet, but you can see they're a different style to our original red panda. So it's kind of part of the DuffleCat style, kind of evolving. Damien likes to try out new different techniques. I always try to pick animals that challenge his art styles. So I think, you know, from the original one where it's a bit more smoother, this one kind of has a more stylized style, but I still think they're very cute and very sweet. So next up we have our Halloween selection. Our Halloween cards have been super popular, starting with this bat. Again, you'll see they're in the little plastic sleeves just to protect them. We like to keep them, you know, nice and clean for when you're buying them. The bat is also available on a badge and a sticker, and obviously the limited edition art print. There's only 25 of each of our designs, but the cards and the other items we sell a lot more of. These ones just come in portrait because obviously he's hanging down from a branch. So next up we have our vampire corgi. So we usually try and do a Halloween themed one every year. We have one in planning for this year, which I think is also bat themed, so look out for that. Obviously we'll put it up on our social media once it's ready. So vampire corgi was a bit of a random Damien led one, but he's been popular, so there you go. Next up is our super popular pumpkin cat. This is based on one of our own cats, Bugsy. He comes again as obviously the art print, as they all do. Pocket mirror, coaster, badge, magnet, stickers. He's so popular, this one. We did try him in a portrait style, which I think obviously the landscape one works a bit better. So we currently do have both in stock, but I think the landscape one makes him look a bit better. Then we have our Bella Halloween witch. Bella again is one of our other cats. She's probably the most cat of them all and is Damien's favourite. We've also kind of paid homage to one of our favourite movies in this picture as well. We try not to obviously do that kind of art style too much, but we just thought this one was lovely and she's been super popular, so there you go. She's also available on pocket mirror, coaster. No, she's not on a coaster yet actually. We might think about putting her on a coaster, a badge, a magnet, sticker, and the art print obviously. So there you go, that's our Halloween ones. So next up we have our range of cat cards. As our name suggests, we do love cats. We have our own little herd at home, and you will see some of them in our designs. So this one here is Ying. He is my little brother's cat who lives with us at the moment. He's super sweet, absolutely loves my lap. It's a bit of a 10-second rule in our house. If you sit on the sofa, a cat will magically appear, and then you kind of feel like you can't move for the rest of the evening because your fear of waking the cat. I'm sure a lot of other cat owners feel this way as well. So all of our cat pictures are available as art prints, greeting cards, postcards, and then some of them like Ying here are on a coaster, sticker, pocket mirror, magnet. So yeah, so he comes in landscape. We also tried a portrait one. I think the landscape works a bit better. Then we also put a party hat on him. This was mainly for my brother's 21st birthday, but obviously we would never suggest that you try and attempt to dress anything on your cat because you'll get a clawed hand and they don't particularly like it, but we thought he looked quite fun in a party hat, so he's in landscape and also portrait there as well. Next up we have a Himalayan cat. Kind of could be a ragdoll cat as well, I guess. She comes on, or he, could be he, comes on a badge and a magnet as well, and obviously the art print. So we've got landscape or portrait. I think in this case the portrait works a bit better. Next up we have a Scottish fold. This one comes as portrait and landscape. Again, portrait looks a bit better. Next up we have an Egyptian meow. I don't know. This one is just a landscape one because obviously the way it's laying. Next up we have Tabby. Tabby is loosely based on a cat I got one of my sisters to adopt from the place where I work. We're looking to do another tabby cat version because tabby cats just have beautiful markings. We'll also look to do a calico as well, which is what Bella and Sushi, my cats, are, but you will notice them in some of our designs. So he only comes currently as landscape because of how he is, and he's more of a portrait. So then we also have some seasonal cat ones. This is spring, and then we also have summer here. The other two cards in the range are the Halloween pumpkin cat and the Christmas cat in the Christmas tree, which you will see later on. But yeah, those are super cute, and again, all of these cards are blank inside for your own message, and they come with an envelope. So next up we have our dogs range. Damien is not a fan of drawing dogs, but I've managed to convince him to draw some of them. This lovely lurcher here is based on one of my colleagues' friends' dogs. So we have a standing lurcher, and then we also have a very rare lurcher lying down on a cushion. These are only in landscape. These are available as greeting cards, postcards, and the art prints, but they're very lovely. So there's the two lurchers there. Next up, you might have seen this chap in some of our badges or magnets. This is the sheepdog. Next up we have a golden retriever, quite a muscular dog there. We have this one in portrait, but we also tried it in landscape. I personally think the portrait works a bit better, but there you go. Next up we have a French bulldog. He's looking a little sad there, so I might see if I can get Damien to redraw him so he looks a bit friendlier, bless him. So he comes in portrait, and we also tried him on landscape as well, so I think either works for those ones. Next up we have a Cocker Spaniel puppy. This is an all black dog, so a little bit harder to see than the others. I think if we were going to do a Cocker Spaniel again, we'd do a lighter coloured dog. This is loosely based on my dad's dog, so he comes in portrait and landscape. I think again the portrait one works better for him. Next up we have a husky stroke wolf. This one's got nice little blue eyes. Again, comes in landscape and in portrait. I think the landscape works a bit better there. And then last we have a border collie. I love border collie in portrait and in landscape, so there you go. I think obviously the portrait one works a little better. So next up we have our range of what I guess I would call British wildlife, although I'm sure you know you can get some of these species elsewhere in the world. So you may have recognised this owl from the Happy Birthday range. We've done him just by himself, little owlet. We might look to do another owl. My particular favourite is a barn owl, so we might have a go at that. This one only comes in a portrait card. Next up we have a stoat, part of the weasel family. So these come just as landscape now. We did try them as portrait, but they don't quite work. Next up we have a red squirrel. These are actually the native species to the UK, but then the grey squirrel came along. Currently just in landscape. I think they work better on landscape. Then we have some hares. You're very lucky if you see these running around the field, especially in the Fenland area where I am. They're quite big when you see them. So we have them in portrait or landscape, but I think the portrait works a bit better, so they're quite lovely. Next up we have our puffins, which are super popular, and as well as having them on a card and a postcard and an art print, they come on a coaster, a pocket mirror, magnet, a badge. So they come in portrait, or kind of, I think the landscape again works a lot better for this one. Next up we have our weasels. These were done as a Valentine's design. Again, they come in landscape or portrait. I think the landscape works a bit better though. Next up we have a hedgehog. We have loads of hedgehogs that come to visit our garden. This one is a little chap that's tucking into a bowl of food. So we have him or her landscape and also a portrait one. I think maybe the landscape one works a bit better, but there you go. Next up we have our badger. So the badger you may have seen on a badge or a magnet or a pocket mirror. He's lovely, so he comes in landscape. We also did a portrait version, but I think again the landscape one works a bit better. Next up we have a cheeky seagull having a chip. There we go, we have a seagull. I think again the portrait works a bit better than the landscape. So moving on to seals, here we have a grey seal and a brown seal. We also tried it on portrait, but obviously landscape works better for this one. And then we split them up, so you then have the grey seal and the brown seal on portrait and landscape.